The Golden Elite really should have been the Elite Lovers. Missed an opportunity to go platinum with the t-shirt sales there, Matt. It's the newly formed supergroup of Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Matt and Nick Jackson, which came about when the Young Bucks decided not to let Cody's vendetta against the Bullet Club leader drive them from their elite comrade. Now Gedo has a new toy to play with, a group identity that can perform at all levels, has crossover appeal in Japan and the Western wrestling world, but when it comes down to it, how Gedo books this new quartet will have sweeping implications on the New Japan storyline universe. In this episode of Moves Like Gedo, we will try to get a handle on what the Golden Elite actually is and what, with Gedo's subtle guidance, it can ultimately be. Kenny acting as the bridge between the Golden Elite's two components means that the initial novelty in this pairing comes from Ibushi's interactions with the Bucks and the foursome competing as a new super unit. Unfortunately for us, this newly merged quartet has entered into a landscape without many prominent four-man troops. Horsemen and Evolution aside, 4 isn't really a number wrestling factions have aimed to build around over the course of history. New Japan has plenty of girthier factions that can be trimmed down to battle the Golden Elite in their entirety. Okada and Ospreay have developed strong links to Kenny and Ibushi, while any of their other heavyweights, like former tag champs Ishii and Yano, can enter a program with the Bucks. Suzuki, Sabre and KES would provide menacing opposition, while LIJ could be really mean and leave Bushi out of potential clash. What's really unfortunate is that when being the elite squad fractured, the 6 original belligerents eventually emerged as a shaky alliance of trios. Matt, Nick and Kenny on one side, Cody, Page and a reluctant Marty on the other. What needs to happen with Ibushi now in the mix is a 4th recruit onto Cody's team. BTE lore would encourage Flip Gordon or some other in-show meme to want to side with Cody, but Bullet Club, the original group in all of this, have enough bodies to field its own team against the Golden Elite. The BC originals have entrenched themselves as apathetic neutrals in all this nonsense, so the best move Cody could make is to take the new Bone Soldier under his toxic wing. Taiji Ishimori proved his worth in the past Best of the Super Juniors, but it remains to be seen what he'll actually do as part of the Bullet Club. He is a natural junior ally in former champion Marty Scurll, so having the two of them pair up for tournaments and high profile feuds is a tasty idea. The fact is, if we don't see the Golden Elite, all 4 of them, team up for at least one major match, then the moniker becomes nothing more than a t-shirt. Not that the Money Bucks will ever complain about t-shirt sales. Kenny is adamant that the terms governing his alliance are fluid. The Golden Elite has not swallowed whole the Golden Lovers or the Elite. Nor will the Young Bucks cease their global rodeo, especially not in New Japan, where they have finally won the IWGP Tag Team Championships Heavyweight Edition. New Japan have proven over the years that they're relatively unimaginative when it comes to Tag Team Championship feuds. Should Evil and Sonata be seen off in San Francisco, that should be the end of their conflict, at least for now. Every faction in New Japan has talent available for a Young Bucks program, many of them being fresh given the Bucks being classified as juniors for so long. Chaos alone has Ishii and Yano, Gedo and Yoshihashi, and the best friends once Beretta is healed. KES will rear their ugly heads, and GOD won't stand idly by as the Bullet Club's number 2 heavyweight team. Page and Cody have tested their tag team chops as of late, and a championship challenge to the Bucks would make an interesting next chapter in the BTE saga. Their reunion set New Japan ablaze, but things will settle down for the Golden Lovers as a twosome now that Kenny is transitioning into the role he has been so passionately chasing. Kota is a proud BF, but he'll have to be content with being Kenny's backup in undercard tag matches rather than taking on the world as a tag team like they once were. The immediate future for the Golden Elite is rather precarious given their alliance is so fresh. The G1 special in San Fran sees Kenny and the Bucks defend their new championships against Cody and LIJ respectively, and then we dive right into G1 season. Relationships become frayed during solo tournaments, but New Japan have thrown a spanner into the works by putting Kenny and Ibushi in the same block. They'll face off in the last day of block competition at the Budokan, the sacred site of their DDT Peter Pan showdown. Even Kenny has publicly agreed that it's too soon for the lovers to be facing off in solo competition, without nearly enough build-up coming from their new alliance. Also, recent history has proven that eventual Tokyo Dome main eventers don't share a G1 block in the previous tournament. In other words, the Kenny Kota Dream match being spent in the G1 means that they won't be facing off in Wrestle Kingdom 13's main event as so many had hoped they would. Perhaps we're being impatient though, and their G1 match will simply offer a taste of what the Golden Lovers can do when they are each other's dance partner. It absolutely should not spell the end of their alliance, and they should walk out together, whoever wins and loses. Outside of the inter-faction foreplay, the Golden Elite have plenty of opportunities for success ahead of them. Though it's tough to see now, Matt and Nick have previously competed as individuals in the Best of the Super Juniors. Should they want to, New Japan should set aside places for the brothers to take part in next year's G1 or New Japan Cup. Ibushi is adrift in a group stacked with gold. 5 belts are shared between Nick, Matt and Kenny, and Ibushi really needs to seek out his own. A sensible goal is Jay White's IWGP US Championship. Switchblade thieved the belt from Kota's soulmate, and his actions coincided with the Bullet Club fracture and the Golden Lovers reunion. Most of us see Okada making a G1 push to get to the Tokyo Dome main event against Kenny, so the supposed right-hand men of Okada and Omega doing battle makes sense as the co-main event. Switchblade's relationship to his friends is not nearly as amorous as Ibushi's, but Jay would not say no to a big-time defense against Kota at Wrestle Kingdom should he step over Juice in July. The real wild card for the Golden Elite going forward, what could bury their alliance before it's kicked off or bring them to the top of the wrestling world, is IWGP Heavyweight Champion Kenny Omega. Many New Japan fans have not known a world without Champion Okada, and through one of the greatest matches of all time, a new age dawns. Nothing about Kenny's future atop the company is certain. The length of his reign, who will step up to challenge, how his relationships with Ibushi, the Bucks and the Bullet Club will develop, everything is on the table, and it's already one of the most exciting times ever to be a wrestling fan. Okada's rematch is obviously coming down the pipeline, with many speculating he will mount a G1 victory. It's weird enough seeing him without the big gold belt. It's even harder to imagine his absence from the Wrestle Kingdom main event. January 4th, 2019 is already the key date for Kenny, the Golden Elite and the rest of New Japan, as that's when we'll really find out what Gedo has planned. Okada could win and restore the natural order of things, or Kenny could win and all bets are off. Gedo has a big decision to make in the second half of 2018. Allow the Golden Elite merger to act merely as a sign of goodwill between the teams. I know I've said it before, but they'll definitely benefit in merch sales if nothing else. Or bind the group tightly together through his booking. LIJ have been the go-to faction in recent years. Solo identities aside, LIJ have even more appeal when they perform together. Gedo could use the Golden Elite in a similar fashion. It's just a case of figuring out how to navigate the 4-man group through the New Japan landscape. There are plenty of challenges for them, but it's up to Gedo to decide how best to book the Golden Elite.